Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Monday, September 30th, 2019 edition of the etcdadm office hours. Please add yourself to the attendees list if you like, and then add your topics to the agenda, which I'm going to add to the chat. And I think Chuck, hi. You said you had a couple of questions.
It was actually more feedback. I tossed it on the agenda. If you wanted to do the EDE stuff first, I can go after.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
So I've just been talking with a couple of folks who are interested in managing etcd, and like etcdadm seems to be the fairly nice way to go about doing that. But it seems like the state of the project is generally unknown to external folks, and kind of the feedback that I was hearing was like, we really want a tool to do this, but we don't know if etcdadm is like what the future is, how it's supported, in that. And I think there's some opportunity for improving that story. I'm not entirely sure how, but I kind of ran into that, and especially now that we're like I'm working on Cluster API, like the Bootstrap provider, and it'd be like we're adding support for external etcd. We're starting to work on control plane management. Is sort of feeling like there's going to be a need for this like etcdadm thing at some point. Maybe this is like total speculative, like future planning, but just kind of my initial thoughts from having a chat with other people. And then there was a company in China that was doing, they like refactored or rebuilt their own custom cluster API Bootstrap provider to make it mutable, to like make all the operations mutable instead of like immutable things. And they're looking for like an etcd manager as well, and they came to the same conclusion of, well, this looks like a good tool, but we're not sure if it's how supported it is.
Thank you for the feedback. That's I think it's all very fair, very fair feedback. And I think I guess the main thing is to figure out what, and I think we have been trying to figure out together with the Kubedium folks recently what exactly it is the community needs, and sort of and use that as a guide for for what etcd should be doing. In the short term, so I think one of the things that we don't have, I think, is some of the kind of boilerplate documentation that is more common in the other SIG subprojects. I think a roadmap document, maybe a contributors guidelines. Those two things is like adding those two things, would that help? Would that be a step in the right direction? Like help address some of that feedback, or like what do you think? I'm
not entirely sure what people are looking for. I can try to talk around or ask around and see what is it that people actually want to see from this project? Like why do people feel this way? I didn't quite get into that, so that'd be probably a good piece of feedback to get as well.
What about the? I think we have right now. What's that?
I just want to make a suggestion. Like, why don't we emphasize there is no plan B? Like, if this is the project, so like, if you don't like the direction it is going in, or you need more features, then please contribute to it, right? Like, this is the sig-cluster-lifecycle project to manage etcd. There should be no other efforts. Like, COPS is not. We are in maintenance mode on our etcd manager project, but the goal of COPS is to integrate with etcdadm. Like, there should be no efforts that are not doing this. So yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit of a harsh line, obviously, because like, but I mean, I think that should be the thing. Like, we are trying to, like, we don't want to force people to do things. It's open source. So, but at the same time, like, we should not be, if there's a different project that if the needs aren't quite right, please like contribute to this project and explain it rather than like doing something else. But like this is how we shape these things, I think.
Yeah, I think that's important to remember in these conversations. That this is the project that the SIG sponsors. Yeah.
Thanks, Justin. I think I was gonna. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot what I was gonna ask. So I know that we don't have, or we haven't had an official release in a while. So that's probably. Chuck, it sounds like some of what you're saying is that etcdadm needs maybe better signaling, like the people that. So as far as I know, you can use etcdadm with any version 3 etcd and bootstrap it and set up an external cluster, for example, or set up a stack cluster, if you're doing that on your own. But yeah, we don't have a release cadence that tells somebody that, hey, this is, go ahead, you can use this. This will work with any version of etcd, particularly like versions, and for Kubernetes 1.14, 15, 16, anything that's currently supported. Is that do you think that's that would improve, or that would address some of the feedback that you've gotten?
Yeah, I think having a release would be nice, but I think it's more about it might just be a messaging thing. I just need to talk to more people and see what the like it. For me, it felt like there were a couple of issues that I saw when I started using it, and I tried to file those, and haven't seen much response on them. I'm not sure if there aren't like that many maintainers in the project, or.
Yeah, so that I've had a busy few weeks. I've actually changed jobs. So thank you. But I'm gonna thank you for filing the issues. I saw them. I just haven't been able to look. But I think it's true that like Justin and myself, who are the current maintainers. I know Lubomir's also participated, Moshe as well. I think we're just low on the project is low on resources.
That's fair.
If we can, do you have any suggestions on how to get more? Is this should we basically advertise in the general SIG cluster meeting or on the mailing list? I think I've done that previously, but not for a few months.
Yeah, I think making it easy for contributors to get involved is a really good step. So when I've been running like the Docker provider or the Bootstrap provider, it helps to have a series of good first issues, and then say, hey, we've got a bunch of good first issues. Anybody who's looking to contribute, please come help out the project. And that sort of gets people in. I've actually been struggling to get people to like repeat contribute. That's always a really hard problem. But through the course of the life cycle of the Docker provider, at least, we've had 2 new reasonably like active contributors ever since the beginning, which has been nice. But it seems like there's a lot of one-offs before you get somebody who repeatedly comes back. So it's just sort of a lot of work on all the maintainers' parts.
So
if you're going to advertise, I would recommend having a good place for people to get started. Say, here are a list of issues to get started, and we would love additional help.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe tagging more. I think I tagged a lot of the issues, but I don't think I have tagged them with like good first issue, something like that. So maybe tag some good first. issue.
And is there a general process of you go through like we do with the other sub-projects? Yeah, okay.
Oh, what do you mean? Sorry.
Oh, just in the other sub-projects, we like go through the entire backlog and sort of like organize it into milestones, or like, you know, close the issues that aren't there, like make sure that the backlog is up to date.
I've been learning on the go to do that. So yeah, but I think not quite as well as for, I mean, my only other example right now is I think Cluster API.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we can improve there. So
yeah, and that's maybe something we could even do at this meeting, is like, you know, advertise, be like, hey, we're going to go through the backlog, clean it up, and whatever. I don't know. I always have more fun doing that when there's other people to talk to rather than just sitting around by myself. But either way.
Yeah, I've tried to do that in the past few meetings.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Does anybody else want to jump in? Sorry, we've been talking.
Hi, my name is Nader. I'm kind of working for Pivotal. I'm kind of just getting started on a bunch of cluster API related projects. So just going through all the meetings and learning, ramping up on all of them, and just like trying to find places to contribute. So I haven't really started back to like working on issues yet. Just like my second week, just learning all the different things. So just going to all the different meetings and learning about them.
Good to have you. Welcome, Nader.
Thank you.
Well, Justin, I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to talk about or follow up from last time. Maybe we could triage some issues.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that I think we spoke about it informally at like the Cluster API face-to-face, but we should probably get it on the record, which is like we talked about the idea of using some of the features that are in the upstream, the latest version of etcd, specifically non-voting members or followers, and whether we should, at least for self-driving mode, depend on those rather than re-implementing or trying to work around the absence of that feature. This is sort of similar to the way we are sort of leaning toward or away from supporting etcd2. So like COPS had to support it, but there's no reason now to like support etcd2 now that we've basically got everyone onto etcd3 in COPS land. And hopefully that will never happen again. And similarly, now we have this feature of followers. We can similarly leverage that to avoid having to work around it, and it should make for a cleaner, better self-driving mode if we take that dependency, which is an etcd3.4 dependency, but it would mean, so we wouldn't be able to ship self-driving as everyone is. We are pushing self-driving off into the future, but we wouldn't be able to ship self-driving until etcd3.4, but when we get it, it would be more reliable for that.
Do you know off the top of your head which Kubernetes version might be?
Not off the top of my head. I don't know if Chuck.
So it's definitely not yet. I haven't. I don't remember what 116 is pinned to.
I would guess it is not 116, but I will check. We may also be relaxing that a little bit more with. Actually, it might be because there was not a security issue. There was a like the HA issue. So we might have gone much more than you might expect. I'm trying to pull it up anyway.
Are you talking about etcd issues in Kubernetes? Yeah. I actually just went through a comment here, and it looks like etcd 3.2 was on 113 and 3.3 was on 114, but I don't think that answers the question at hand.
It looks like 116 is 3.3.15, so not yet 3.4. So fingers crossed for 117, I guess. But that timing could work out, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, non-voting members, absolutely. I think we talked about in context of the self-driving mode, but in general, it is it is a safer way to do dynamic reconfiguration. So potentially, even for the interactive or the sort of the CLI driven mode, that could be a safer way of doing things. So even going from, I think, 1 member to 2 members by adding a second member that is initially non-voting, and then once you have once that member has all the data, then and only then, I guess, increasing the well, not increasing the quorum, but I think it may. I guess I'd have to test it first, but I think it may prevent the case where, if you go from 1 to 2 and the second one fails to join entirely, then you have to start over. So yeah, in general, it might be a useful tool to have.
When we talk about self-driving, do we mean automatic upgrades? More or less?
That's part of it, but it's also like the mode, sort of what COPS does, where you run like your masters in effectively auto scaling groups, and like they basically recover, they keep quorum, but yes, they also do upgrades. But yes, as a node disappears and comes back, or as nodes disappear and come back, or etcd nodes, they can the cluster continues to survive.
Cool, got it. Thank you.
So issue triage. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take I can, or unless somebody wants to drive, I'm happy to do it. And please, please guide me, I guess, along. Anyway, is that okay, or does anybody else want to?
That sounds great.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. All right. Let me know if you can see everything. So this is the etcdadm issues list. Okay. All right. So if I remember correctly, we need, we'll just start. Where would we start? Most recent first?
Anything that you feel is not triaged, I would say. Okay. The way that we generally do it is we'll have a milestone and then we'll have a far off milestone.
All right. So maybe I need to create a milestone.
That's sort of like a little more planning, I think. I'm not totally sure if there's no release cadence, there's probably no like goal for a milestone. Just guessing.
Yeah, so far we've just been doing kind of priority, important long term, important soon.
Yeah, I think that's totally reasonable then. We can. Perfect.
So okay. Yeah, I think the ones that don't have a priority, I think are the ones that need to be triaged. So let's see. Let's try this one first. Tide is failing to merge PRs. Okay. Oh. Okay.
I think we can close, right?
Yeah, it looks like we can close.
Okay. Let's close. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. So that's there. Memory low, not support in C group V1. Ah, okay. So on, I see. Oh, okay. No, I've looked at this issue. So this Yeah, this is a case of a specific, I think, system D setting that is then expressed as a C group parameter, but it's not supported in some earlier versions, I guess, of CentOS, or potentially it's just a system D version, but I think it's listed as a C group version issue. I don't think this is blocking etcd deployments, but it means that there is some setting that's not being applied. So it's a bug, and I suppose it needs let's see, priority important soon. I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's impacting anybody's use of etcd, but at the same time, I don't like the I don't like that this parameter is not being set, but things aren't failing. That's not a good experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully, okay. Chat ops works. Okay. That this is prioritized. Logs are a bit confusing by default.
Ooh, that's me. Yeah, I think I was here just complaining about mixing the logger versus font. We had this problem in kubeadm.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think in some cases we are there's some internal functions that are not using.
Yeah, it seemed like the certificates file was the biggest offender.
Okay.
The first half of the file was all logs, and the second half was all font.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's tag it priority important long term. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's what I tried to do, but I always get them backwards. So I said priority long term important, and then it was didn't work.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I've done that before. Okay. All right.
And that seems like a good first issue to me. But...
Oh, okay. That's a good. Let's see. I forgot what the command is for that.
It's good -first -issue.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't think you need priority. I think it's just a slash.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that should be kind of just a minor refactoring. Okay.
So this was in the README. Actually, I found out much later that this request was in the README. This is just sort of like, oh, you got to do this thing. Go do this thing. And I was like, oh, I just really wish, like, I know you know how to do this thing, computer. Just tell me how to do the thing.
I see. Yeah, that okay.
It may be out of scope for the project, but it seemed like a useful tool or useful like addition.
No, I think anything that we can, anything that just helps streamline the user experience, I'm on board with that. I think one thing that we haven't discussed is whether we can whether etcdadm itself can pass around certificates in the same way that kubeadm passes around certificates. So that is an etcdadm join would, as a first step, establish some kind of like bootstrap trust and then obtain a CA cert and key. But I don't know that etcd has the primitives that are needed for that, whereas maybe Kubernetes does, and that's what.
Yeah.
Okay. Search subcommand. Okay. long term.
Like it's in the README, so I'd say it's probably long term. But.
Okay. But this might also be. Would this be a good first issue, or maybe not? It's not.
Yeah, I think it could be. I think it could be because you're not actually going to be refactoring too much here.
Okay. Thanks. Did you already leave a little note about that you saw this in the README?
I did not. No, I can do that.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Okay, surprising output of etcdadm reset.
Oh yeah, this was a kind of a weird issue that I ran into. Yeah, I just ran the same command twice, and the first time it was like member was not removed, etcd reset complete, and then the second time I ran it again and it was different. But I guess looking back now, it kind of makes sense because the first time it actually ended up working, even though it says member was not removed, but because it was the first member, you can't remove the first member. So it would have just destroyed the cluster, and then it said, oh, it's not running, which makes sense.
Yeah, but I think there's a good point, and that is the output doesn't make it clear to the user that there are these two separate phases. There's the add or remove in this case, and then there's the actual joining or leaving the cluster. And yeah, so this is I agree that it is confusing because when you perform a reset, if you're not familiar with those, you might think that this is saying that something failed, but really what it's saying is, okay, we didn't need to make an API call and to remove the member from the membership list because it's the only one in the cluster, so there's just no need to do that. So it just we just stop the process and. And so yeah, we could make this more clear. I think that's absolutely that would be a great idea actually. So let me see. Well, any feedback, Chuck, from what I said? Is that would that help if?
I think that's I think that's reasonable. Yeah, if you sort of separate the cases out.
Just something that makes it clear. Like here's part sort of step 1 of 2. Oh, it turns out we don't need to perform this step because of this, and then step 2 of 2, we stop the etcd process.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if like it needs a. Yeah, no, I think that's totally reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime that you can make it, very, very easy, like make it completely unambiguous, then I'm always for that, improving the sort of the readability of the log. So yeah, the whole reason etcdadm exists is so you don't have to dig into the details. So you should it should be sort of like, oh, okay, it did this, okay, that makes sense. You might not know why it has to do 2 steps, but at least it will make clear that it did these 2 steps.
Yeah.
Justin, do you have any feedback on that one?
No, seems good.
Okay. All right, and then I think the most recent one, needs more useful information, make joining existing clusters easier. Wait, did we just look at this?
This is a dupe. Yeah, this is a dupe.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Wait. Did you close?
He just failed to close. It's wait, closing 125?
Oh,
Didn't close. I mean, you can keep one of the two. It doesn't really matter to me.
okay. How about I just close this one?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think he meant to close this. This is closing because 125 is pretty close to what I want.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think he just forgot to close it.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe you thought you were doing chat ops with the closing.
Ah, yes.
Okay. So I think now everything has a priority.
Yeah, looks good.
And what else is sort of a standard standard procedure for triaging pull requests? I don't remember, seeing that.
We don't usually go through pull requests,
Okay.
no. But I mean, I did have a pull request open. I wouldn't mind getting. It just doesn't really impact me whatsoever. It's just like it just deletes vendor.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. But if we prefer
Usually the standard
to do
is
that
just
offline.
Yeah, we could probably do that offline because the standard is usually just like put stuff into buckets, into milestone buckets, and then make sure they all have the proper labels. I think Tim usually likes to go as far as making sure that every issue has an assignee, but that's a lot.
So actually, I guess so. Chuck, you've been, like I saw you've been using etcdadm and you're filing issues, which I'm grateful for. Did you build it? I mean, actually, we don't have binary releases, so you built it from source. Did you?
Yeah, I think the README is a little out of date too.
The README is a little out of date.
Yeah, because you generally, I think for this case, you probably want to have a more Go modules approach to installation instead of go get-u.
Okay. Okay. So what about? Do you have any feedback from the what would make contributing easier from your point of view? And I'm going to stop sharing for a second.
Oh, contributing has been. I mean, contributing is fine. I haven't really done that much with it yet. I only created a single node cluster just to play around with the external etcd and like integrating external etcd into cluster API.
Okay.
But I haven't done anything serious with it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, just like I guess just making sure that PRs get like some kind of attention. With like Lubomir was looking at the one that I filed, and I'm not sure the state of the other 4 PRs or the other 3 PRs.
Yeah. How do I? There have definitely been definitely times when I just miss GitHub notifications. I think one thing I can try to do is just schedule some regular time to check in, which I try to do, but it's been more irregular the past few weeks. And I guess the end users that you spoke with, would some of them be interested in contributing? Is there someone that would help for us to reach out to?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay, never hurts to ask.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So, Justin, do you? I guess I should say, yeah, I'm still working. I got unfortunately like sidetracked, and so I'm still working on the end-to-end test for init. And yeah, apart from that, I guess I don't have other updates. Justin, do you have any suggestions for or you know, like what if we should, I guess, maybe make some things higher priority, maybe on the, you know, making contribution easier side.
Yeah, and probably reviewing PRs rapidly will be the biggest thing. I will also try to do that. I find we have chosen not to allow notifications to work, so that is unhelpful. But we can just like, I guess, like use GitHub. Yeah, I think also like I'm going to try to get cops using it. I guess for the 117 branch, but that which will be interesting. But that feels like a long way in the future. But it's actually, I guess, it's not that far away. So that will be like, that will also help. Like I find it easier to work. I find it easier personally to do things when I have a, you know, like a specific use case in mind. And I suspect most users or potential contributors are the same way. And so if we start getting it more useful in some scenarios, then I imagine the torrents, we will open the floodgates and people will start like contributing more. It would be my guess. And in return, we have to review those PRs as they come in.
Okay. I guess the last thing is that we had a few weeks ago, we had Fabrizio and Lubomir joined and talked about and asked some questions about kubeadm integrating with etcdadm. And they shared a doc. I left some comments. If Justin, if you have the chance to look at it, and if you have any feedback you wanna leave, that would be useful, and then I will reach out to them. Maybe we can reconvene for the next meeting and and reach consensus. I think there were you know, just a few points where we didn't completely see eye to eye. And yeah, if anybody else is interested in that, there's a link in the office hours doc. It's on the Monday, September 2nd, 2019 meeting. So 2 meetings ago. And I think that's it. So awesome. I will, I'm gonna work on the end-to-end tests, and Chuck, I'm gonna look at your PR and try.
Only like a 600,000 diff. It's fine.
I will give every line the attention it deserves. And I'll try to keep on top of the issues by scheduling some time rather than, you know, waiting for notifications, because I think I don't, maybe someone has advice on handling notifications, but there's so many, and it's hard to, some of them are for issues that I'm sort of interested in as they are developing, you know, on other projects. Others, I don't know if anybody has any tips on managing GitHub notifications.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm trying to push for having one assignee for PRs so that actually becomes useful, but we are getting pushback from various people.
Like a PR cop?
So there is an assignee, right? But currently there are multiple assignees, so no one is responsible, and no one pays attention to the field. If there was one assignee, I argue people would pay attention to the field.
Ah, okay.
And then you could actually look at like your queue in GitHub as it is supposed to be done.
I see. Yeah. I think so. GitHub. I've noticed that GitHub. I don't know if it's GitHub or if it's the CI robot. It will, by default, I think, yeah, just select a few assignees for each PR, and one of them, you know, is often, yeah, if I file a PR, then Tim St. Clair gets assigned because he happens to be the co-lead of the lifecycle sig. So yeah, that's not, I guess that's not very helpful. So yeah, limiting to one assignee would be helpful. Is there some place to advocate for that idea?
I'm not sure I want to encourage brigading, but there is a PR in test info that is open. Or was open.
You're not encouraging anything. I'm just curious. I'm not saying I'm completely sold on the idea, but it's something that
if you wanted to view the discussion, you could see it in test infra PR 14264. Oh. I will see where we got to as well. I think we basically stalled out.
Okay. Any, okay, sorry, you said test infra.
I will put a link in the chat.
Oh, thanks. Okay. And I think, so would it help to remove assignees manually?
You know what we could do? We could see if we can get this PR in some repos, and we could gradually like prove that one way is good and the other way is not. But we could do an evidence-based approach.
I'm for that.
I'll see if we can do it in like, would we be in favor of doing it, trying it out in our repo, the etcdadm repo?
Yeah, and then if we do that, then I guess I could somehow prioritize the etcdadm notifications, knowing that they.
Unclear, but possibly yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it.
I'll see if I can tweak that PR. That might be a way forwards.
You never know until you try it in practice. It might be a terrible idea. It might be a great idea.
I can try it on cops as well. Yeah, I can do it on all my repos, and then exactly all the repos that I am most active in, and then like effectively like not have to filter anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Or at least we'll have some information, and we can add it to this.
All right, cool. I will work on that. That's a good non-confrontational way forwards, I think.
All right. Okay. Thanks everybody for attending. Thanks, Chuck, for all your feedback, filing the PRs.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I'll see everybody here in 2 weeks, and yeah, please reach out on the etcdadm Slack channel. That's actually a good way of getting my attention. Perhaps it would be better if it were over GitHub, but yes.
Do you want me to just post PRs there if I open any more?
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be a requirement. I should maybe that's not a good habit to.
Okay, sure.
To make. But yeah, but for like questions or discussion, I'm definitely available there, and I will try to check PRs more frequently. So.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.